Welcome back to the Bible Stories series. Today's protagonist, Zephaniah, is completely different from the farmer Amos or the shepherds we introduced before. Look at his genealogy, and you will find an astonishing name, King Hezekiah. That's right, Zephaniah is the great-great-grandson, fourth-generation descendant of King Hezekiah. That means he was a prince, flowing with royal blood, living in a mansion in Jerusalem, and attended by servants wherever he went. But he did not stay silent because of his privilege. On the contrary, exactly because he was at the core of power, he saw things more clearly than anyone else. He saw the deep corruption hidden beneath superficial religious reforms, he saw the people worshipping God while simultaneously worshipping the stars in the sky, he saw officials wearing trendy foreign clothes, blindly worshipping foreign things, while abandoning their own traditions. Around 630 BC, this prince stood up. He didn't speak pleasantries, but uttered the most terrifying opening line in the Bible, "I will sweep away everything from the face of the earth, declares the Lord." Zephaniah's prophecy is not just aimed at one nation, but at the entire earth. Listen to this description, it's simply a rewound version of the book of Genesis. In Genesis, God created the fish in the sea, the birds in the sky, the beasts on the earth, and finally created humans. But in the first chapter of Zephaniah, the order is reversed. I will sweep away both man and beast. I will sweep away the birds in the sky and the fish in the sea. I will destroy mankind from the face of the earth. God is going to recall everything he created. Why? Because the earth had become dirty. Sin had polluted the world like a virus. God isn't just going to tear down buildings, he's going to perform a thorough disinfection. This sounds cruel, but it reflects God's zero tolerance for sin. Zephaniah tells us, God is not a pushover who spoils his children. When the world corrupts to the extreme, he will press that terrifying reset button. Next, the camera zooms in from the entire universe to the streets of Jerusalem. This is a spine-chilling scene. God says, "At that time I will search Jerusalem with lamps." Imagine a citywide blackout, completely pitch dark. God holds a lamp in his hand, like a police officer searching for a fugitive, walking into every house, illuminating every dark corner. Who is he looking for? He is looking for those who say in their hearts, "The Lord will do nothing either good or bad." This is what we modern people often call apathy or deism. These people haven't committed murder or arson, they just think, God probably doesn't exist, right? Even if he does, he doesn't care. He won't reward good or punish evil, he's just a decoration. God hates this attitude the most. This spiritual apathy angers God even more than fierce opposition. Zephaniah warns, when God searches with a lamp, every secret thought in your heart will have nowhere to hide. When the search is over, the judgment begins. This is the famous Day of the Lord. What is this day like? Zephaniah uses a series of adjectives, a day of wrath, a day of distress and anguish, a day of trouble and ruin, a day of darkness and gloom, a day of clouds and blackness. On that day, people will walk like the blind because they have sinned against the Lord. Their blood will be poured out like dust, and their entrails like dung. The most ironic thing is that the wealth accumulated over a lifetime by those corrupt officials will instantly turn into waste paper at that moment. Zephaniah says, neither their silver nor their gold will be able to save them on the day of the Lord's wrath. This sentence is a sharp wake-up call to all money worshippers. When the end comes, the numbers in your bank account cannot save you, and the gold you hoard cannot buy an escape ticket. After talking about so many terrifying judgments, is humanity doomed to die? In the middle of the book of Zephaniah, a turning point suddenly appears, perhaps. The prophet appeals, "Seek the Lord, all you humble of the land, you who do what he commands. Seek righteousness, seek humility, perhaps you will be sheltered on the day of the Lord's anger." Notice that the target of his appeal is the humble. On the day of judgment, the proud will be brought low, and only the humble will have a way out. Furthermore, the prophet uses a very uncertain word, perhaps. This means we cannot take God's grace for granted. We cannot say, "I have a baptism certificate, I am safe." No, we must seek him daily with fear and trembling. If you are willing to lay down your pride and admit your helplessness, perhaps when the storm comes, God will hide you under the shadow of his wings. This is the only escape route offered by this book. What will the world become after the judgment? Zephaniah prophesies a wondrous scene. God will change the language of all peoples. God says, "Then I will purify the lips of the peoples, that all of them may call on the name of the Lord." What does this mean? Remember the Tower of Babel in Genesis? Because of human pride, their languages were confused, and they could not communicate with each other. But in Zephaniah's prophecy, judgment purifies the world. Those dirty lips once used to curse, lie, and worship idols are now cleansed. People of all nations, regardless of race or language, will worship God in one accord with purified lips. This is a picture of a grand reunion, foreshadowing that the future world will be united once again in worship. Finally, we reach the climax of the entire book, which is also one of the most beautiful and romantic passages in the Old Testament, Zephaniah 3 verse 17. Listen carefully, this is what the God who was once as angry as a warrior now says to his surviving people. "The Lord your God is with you, the mighty warrior who saves. He will take great delight in you, in his love he will no longer rebuke you, but will rejoice over you with singing." This scene is unbelievable. That domineering king who judged the whole earth has now become a father holding a baby, or a husband holding his beloved. In his love he will no longer rebuke you, in the original text means, to be quiet in his love. He looks at you, loves you deeply, and is so quiet he doesn't want to speak, just wanting to enjoy the time spent with you. Rejoice over you with singing, he is so happy that he can't help but sing. Can you imagine it? The God who created the universe is singing for you. This book starts with God's roar, and ends with God's love song. It tells us, God's judgment is to sweep away sin, and his ultimate goal is to hold us in his arms and sing us a lullaby of love.